Hey guys, welcome back to Arsen Girl Plays. Today I'm back in Club Roblox and Skyler and I are at our new house and it is time. It is time. You know what time it is? It is time to do our speed build of the new ocean house, the new underwater house, whatever you want to call it. It's time to transform it. So let's go in and get started. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is of course clean out the house. I have decided in this build I am going to leave all the windows and all the existing lighting, but I am going to get rid of everything else so that we have a clean slate to start our build with. So that is it. The only other things I left were the things that were out back. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to turn this area that I'm working in into a bathroom because it is just wasted space and it needs to be something. And I thought a bathroom was most needed because as this house stands, there's only one bathroom. And by the time I'm done with it, I want it to have at least 3 bathrooms. So I'm going to try to put a full bathroom in here, see if that works. But I'm not 100% sure if it's going to or not because it is a really tight space. I don't want it to intrude on the doorway or the windows. And as you can see, I'm struggling with this little hack that I use for that sink. So I'm going to go back to the more traditional sink, which you can find in the kitchen category. And yeah, here we go with me trying to fit in the shower. Obviously did not work. So we're going to make this a half bath, kind of a guest bath, and leave it at that. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of colors I want to do for this house because I definitely wanted to play off of the ocean outside. And I have decided I'm just going to go with the bubbles. The bubble wallpaper that they gave us several months ago is probably some of the most beautiful wallpaper we have. I use it whenever I can, but it just seems really appropriate to use it for an underwater house. And so that is going to be probably the main wallpaper throughout the entire build. Mostly just because there's a big open space. So when you change the wallpaper here, it's changing it for this entire top floor area and the downstairs. So it needs to be a color that kind of can flow with everything. I'm going to accent it with different blues, different shades of blue, trying to play off of the blues that are in the bubbles in the wallpaper. So you'll see me messing around with several of those. Here I'm just trying to like close in this doorway a little bit, give it a little bit more of an architectural feel to it. I didn't want to go too crazy with anything. This is a pretty big house, so I wanted to make sure I didn't use up all of my build limit with things like framing out the doors and so forth. I wanted to keep it a little more simple. So you'll see I do a lot of building, but I do try to keep it as simple as possible. Now I've decided this was a dining room. I've decided to make this the kitchen and dining area all in one. Very, very casual, very much set for a large group of people. I think I'm planning on having somewhere around seating for like 6 to 8 people. And but I'm gonna do it in a non-traditional way. So you know me, I like to build islands. So my island is going to be a seating area. It's going to be where the family eats or where Skyler and I eat. And I want it to be a nice big island, but I wanted there to be lots of countertop space because, as you know, I'm always thinking about how would I have a party in this house? How would I entertain in this house? And so this house is definitely one of those that people are going to want to come over and see and play in and be in. So I definitely wanted to keep it on the larger scale. And as you see, I just did a little trick here. And I know I'm going to use multiples of things. I literally just throw a whole ton of them out and let them pile up and then put them where they need to be. In that case, I knew I needed at least 6 chairs, so I went that route. Now I'm just going to try to come up with a color scheme that plays off of the wallpaper and any furniture items, things like that that I may want to incorporate into the kitchen area. I'm thinking I'm going to add to the kitchen and make like a desk area as well. But before I do any of that, I just had a really great idea. I am going to use these bubbles throughout the entire house. I'm like going to bubble up this whole house. So I'm going to try to fill in this space. I was going to do it earlier and then I was like, I couldn't really figure out how to do it. And then I thought of these gloss panels and I wanted to see if I can make them work. And I think it did. It just kind of built out this little area for me and made it work. because I want to add like an actual door. So when you spawn in, you're going to spawn at the door. You're going to have to open the door to come into the house. It just makes it feel more official, I guess. So that was my whole thinking behind that. You know, we have so many of these houses where you just spawn into that little hallway. You don't actually come into the door. And that's where the door is coming in. And then here, just working a little bit more coloring. All right, back to the kitchen. I'm going to put out some more bubbles. I want to put some of the accessories that we got in the pack. I definitely, basically with the update that we got this house in, I want to try to use throughout this build all of the stuff that came in that update as much as I possibly can, because it's A, very cute, and B, it is just appropriate, of course, for this house. So I want to incorporate that as much as possible. I already know that I'm going to go overboard with the bubbles because I love bubbles. And I think it just gives us that feeling of being underwater, even though we're nice and dry inside of our house. And of course, I'm loading up on food and stuff on the counters just to make sure Skyler can stay happy without me having to feed her. And over here, I'm gonna make my home office. So I'm gonna put in a little computer setup. I'm getting out everything that I need while I assemble all of it. And I'm gonna try my hardest to like make it work for us and not have to go and take up a whole room to have at-home workspace. Now, you'll see here, I'm trying to figure out if I can make some kind of like little half wall thing, but it's really tough because of where the door is, where the stairs downstairs are, and where the pathway from the kitchen is to that hallway. So I mess around with this a lot and then I just give up with that. So I'm not going to bore you on that. I basically have the desk area done. I'm just trying to figure out the color scheme that I want. And I thought I was going to add the pinks, but I decided that I don't really want the pink up here, so I'm just going to stick with the blues. I just like the whole vibe of the blue being the like focal point for this, so that's why I went with it. I am going to do other colors throughout the house. It's not going to be only blue, but the main living rooms are going to be highly concentrated in a blue tone of some sort just because it works so well. And then I'm using these starfish rugs because I'm going to use them throughout the whole build as well because they're super cute. And I wanted to use them to kind of guide people when they come into the house and kind of lead them to the right way and where to go. So here I'm just fine tuning some of the colors. I like the darker blue. All right, now I'm gonna work on this hallway. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what you didn't see is I literally tried to kill myself with one of these bookcases. It fell on top of me and I had to reset to get out of it. But basically, you know me, I love to have bookshelves and I love to have reading nooks, so that's what this is. I wanted to keep the theme and make it feel very underwater. So I'm bringing, of course, the jellyfish in and the little accessory air bubble pipe thing that's in this pack. I don't even know what it is, but it works very well. And then I'm going to use these rugs, of course, to kind of lay down some carpet in here since I can't change the color of the room. Well, actually, I think I can change the color of the flooring in here, but I'm going to keep all the flooring the same just so it kind of flows together because I really want this to have a very cohesive feel since it's such an open house. And now I'm in the master bedroom and I was like, I don't know what to start on. So I decided to start in this bathroom area and I'm going to segment it. I'm going to turn it into 3 distinct parts. So I wanted to have an actual bathroom, like with a shower and a toilet and a sink. And then I was thinking about having some kind of sauna or spa area or maybe even just a gigantic closet. But what I've decided to do is to actually turn this center area, since it's so small, into like my dressing area. So this is where I would do my makeup. This is where I would do my hair. And then I'll have the bathroom area here. And it is a full bathroom. Because that shower doesn't work, I'm using my friend Ravi's trick, and I am using the CO2 blower to become a shower and give us the water we need. And then I just kind of shove the shower into the wall a little bit to make it fit. And then of course we've got double sinks, plenty of room, and I've decided to go ahead and just put a nice bath in here and make it kind of like a little spa bath for me. I'm gonna have lots of bubbles. I'm gonna have jellyfish because they are so stinking cute. I just love them. And I absolutely think this bath area of the bathroom is probably my favorite part of the house, which is very weird because it is quite possibly the smallest part of the house, but it is definitely one of my favorites. When the build's over, you'll see that I actually have a few favorites because yeah, you'll see here in a minute what my other favorites are. All right, it's time to start on the bedroom. So I am gonna build a custom bed. I know I want a custom bed. I have this brilliant idea for what I'm gonna do for the custom bed. I'm just not exactly sure how to build it, so I'm just kind of playing around, trying to get the size right. But you know those big padded headboards that people have on their beds? That's kind of the feel that I'm going for with these walls. So I want to have this big, luxurious padded headboard. I'm going to keep the stage in place to be the feet for my bed, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate around the bed with these shells. So I'm going to take the clams and I am going to turn this into like an under the sea kind of bed because of course we're under the sea, so I felt like it was appropriate. And this bed is probably my favorite bed that I've ever made in Club Roblox. Probably my only bed I've ever made in Club Roblox, but it is my favorite bed at this point. Came out so cute. I love the color scheme of this room. I played around with having the surfboards over there, but you'll see I moved them in a minute. I wanted to make sure, because I don't have closet space, as always, that I end up with a lot of storage. So I am building out this huge storage area here. It's gonna do double duty as a TV center, and I really wanted to get those nightstands up there, but they would not slot in on top of the wardrobe no matter what I did. So we just went with more wardrobes. I mean, I think in the long run it ended up looking better than it had or would have looked had it done the way I was originally planning. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. Happy accident. Just gonna lay down some nightstands and do a little decor. I also wanted to make sure that because I have this big TV in the bedroom that I have this nice sitting area and like kind of a place for me to escape. You know, whenever I do these builds, I'm always like, I just need somewhere for me to go and have some mom time that I don't have Skyler around and I can just kind of unwind on my own. And that is really what I was going for this bedroom. I wanted to feel very luxurious, very homey, very much a relaxing place for me to go and just get away from everything. I used the lava lamps here because I felt like they were kind of simulating the bubbles, but I'm also going to use lots and lots of bubbles. So don't worry about that. The bubbles are actually a focal point of my bed. So you'll see here, I laid down a ton of bubbles because, I mean, why not? There's no such thing as too many bubbles in an underwater house. Just remember that, guys. No such thing. Now, you guys might build your own house and fool me and prove me wrong, but I'm just saying, you can't have too many bubbles. So I've used a lot of them. And I'm also pulling out some of the coral here that we got in a previous pack because it fits very perfectly. And now I'm moving downstairs because you guys have asked for it over and over and over again. You've asked me to do a pet room. So here is a pet room in this house. In a future video, I will do a video just on a pet room. I'll try to make the most creative pet room or maybe even a pet house that I can come up with. But right now I'm going to try to fit one of these aquariums in here and see if we have a place for our water-loving pets. And I, of course, want a doghouse, but I didn't want just to plop a doghouse down, so I used a little pen there and tried to decorate it a little bit, make it feel like it had its own place. It's a real challenge trying to do a pet room that kind of fills the needs of all the pets that we have in the game, but also fits within this theme of under the water. So I went ahead and used that crystal bed because I felt like it kind of, sort of looked like it would have been found under the water. Use your imagination a little bit, guys. Use your imagination. Here I'm just throwing the new rock coral on the wall, and I am going to use that as kind of my pop art in this room, as it were, because I think it really does pop, no pun intended, and it just makes for a fun decor. I kind of like to get a little crazy and kind of think outside of the box when I'm doing these builds, trying to think like, I might not do it in my own life, but maybe I would if it was really cool. And so if it works, I'll leave it. If I put something like this on the wall and I hate it, I have no problem deleting it and moving on. So I ended up really loving these and am very happy with how it turned out. One thing I've decided is I'm gonna go with a orange color scheme in here. I'm gonna go with oranges, yellows, grays, make the color itself pop against that gray. And because of the orange in that rock coral, I figured I'm just gonna run with that. And I actually ended up really liking it, especially once I got the finalized color scheme down. And I feel like it's a really fun little place for our pets to be able to congregate and have their own space and all of their needs taken care of. All right, that's done, and now it's time to move on to Skyler's room. Now, it's funny, but with Skyler's room, I really did not have a plan except to make it underwater themed and very girly. So I kind of messed around in my head. I was like, what am I gonna do with her? And I was thinking about Ravi's loft beds that she had in her builds when we went and toured her houses. So I decided that I was gonna try to build not a loft bed, but kind of a raised bed. And so I thought these dressers would lend themselves to it. If you saw me just run to the pet room, it was because I was trying to see how wide the wall was and if the dresser would stick through the other side of it. And I'm using the little trick here with these stage pieces to raise the clamshell up, because I want to use that at the end of the bed to kind of hide the fact that this is like a princess bed. I want to make it more of like a Ariel princess type bed. So hence the clamshell. I think it worked out. I tried to put one at the headboard too, but it wouldn't slot into the bed. So I had to run with it as it is. But then I decided, oh, I want more clamshells. So I'm gonna get creative and build out a clamshell accent over here on this wall. And so that's what you see me doing here, using of course those stage pieces again. Now it serves zero purpose, like absolutely zero purpose, except to be decorative and bring in the outside water world into the actual bedroom here. So, and of course I'm doing more of that too by bringing in these pieces of equipment, the pumps, and I'm gonna fill this room with toys for Skyler. I just don't know what's gonna fit, so I'm just gonna try some of my favorites. I wanna have enough stuff in here to keep her busy because I already have plans for outside and it's not going to be truly livable space for me. I'll explain that when I get to it, but basically I already have plans. Now I'm just playing with the colors in Skyler's room. Not sure what they're gonna end up being, but I wanted to play them off of the jellyfish. I was trying to use the jellyfish for inspiration, which is why the purples, but it's really hard without a color wheel to truly match the colors, because the Roblox colors that were given sometimes miss the mark. But I tried to get it as close as possible, and I just kept tweaking it until it was somewhere that I could live with it. And I think the final color scheme came out really nice. Of course, I have to add bubbles to Skyler's room because, I mean, I can't leave her out. So bubbles it is, lots and lots and lots of bubbles. And then I'm gonna use the honeycomb rug because it makes for some really fun designs, and I'm gonna use it on the wall too. So I hope you like what I did with it on the wall. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. It just looks like an outline of lines. I love it. All right, that's Skyler's room. Now we'll move on to the great room, or the gigantic room. Basically, what you see me doing here is building yet another bathroom. I think that's all I did in this build was build bathrooms. You can never have too many bathrooms. I moved the door from my original plan because I was thinking about seating areas while I was doing this, trying to plan out how I wanted this room to play, and realized that if I put the door on the end, it would limit my seating, so I left it where it was, and now I'm going to try to make this a full bath. So fingers crossed that I can make it all fit. I might have to get a little creative because it is tight space. As you can see, I didn't get the bathtub that I wanted to put in there, but the shower fits, so I'm just putting a little decor in there. I'm going to hide it. You've seen me do this before. I think I did it in my farmhouse speed build. I hid something besides the shower so that when you're in there and you have that empty space, you're seeing something even if the people that are in the bathroom and not in the shower are not seeing it. And then since I couldn't color the flooring in here because it's all one great room, I put down these rugs. It was the perfect size, and I colored the rugs to make a bathroom floor. Pretend they're not fabric, just pretend they're an actual blue waterproof floor, because that's what I'm doing. Throw in some double mirrors, color everything, and call it a day. There's a bathroom. Now I'm gonna set up the seating area. It has to be perfect for entertaining, so I'm gonna use lots and lots and lots of couch seating. Just not sure how I wanna organize it at this point. I think I'm gonna put the TV on this wall because I really want it so that you can look at the TV and look outside at the same time, because outside the view is just to die for. It is so beautiful that it doesn't make sense to have your back to it or to not be able to take it in no matter what you're doing in this room. So that was kind of my main focus for how I laid out this seating area. Now over here, I'm going to set up a little desk area for Skyler. Throw out some accent pillows. And then over here, I want to get in a fireplace because you know I like to put fireplaces in all my houses as well. Some more seating, and I wanted to use those bubble chairs. I know I mentioned them upstairs, but I just wanted to use the bubble chairs as often as I could because, I mean, literally this is a bubble house. So might as well have bubble chairs in a bubble house. And now I'm just looking for some kind of like little decor items so that I can make it all pretty. And of course, I have to add my music area because, I mean, what is a party if you don't have somebody playing the piano or the guitar, right? Like, I could put in a DJ booth, but this house just feels a little classier than that. And now my favorite, I'm just gonna throw flamingos all over this wall. I love the pink color against that blue wallpaper, and that wall actually turned out to be a really, really fun wall for me. And of course, more starfish rugs, just because the floor is so hard and so big, and I thought it would add some interesting looks to the house. And now, the backyard. So the whole house is underwater. The backyard is also underwater. And my head was like, I can't like throw a dinner party and sit outside and be like soaking wet. We're just gonna come out here and go swimming and fishing and scuba diving, whatever. We're just gonna spend time in the water. So I've decided just to use all the things that we have at our disposal in the game right now to just make this an underwater oasis. So basically everything that can be in the water is out here, and I am going to just load it up with that kind of stuff and bubbles. So you can see me right now. I'm just throwing bubbles everywhere, like bubble, 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 bubbles. It's the perfect backyard. All right, guys, are you ready to see this? I am done with the speed build. You guys have been asking for it, and it is done, and I am ready to share it with you, and I really hope you like it as much as I do. I know I say this every time I do a house, but I think this one might be my favorite. So let's check it out. Now I'm gonna go back in the entryway here because I closed it up a little bit, and I wanted you to see right from the beginning that I'm walking into an underwater house. Like, my whole vibe for this house is we live underwater, it is one with the water, and we are one with the water. So that is what I've done. And you'll see bubbles throughout. Bubbles play a really big part in this build. It was just like a really fun build for me to do because I absolutely love the ocean and water and all things marine life. I don't even know what I want to say, but just this whole like vibe is totally me. So anyway, the first thing I did is this little empty space here at the end of the hallway. I turned this into a bathroom because it was kind of wasted space and it was the perfect size to have a half bath. So if we have guests over, they can use this bathroom without having to use mine or Skyler's. And then you have this hallway where the starfish kind of lead you down. I did stay with the bubble wallpaper because I thought it was perfect. The colors were perfect with the outside. Again, more bubbles placed all around. You'll see I did a lot of bubbles. I'm surprised I didn't hit the item limit for all the bubbles that I did. So anyway, this is our kitchen. It is spacious because you know I love the kitchen. I made it so 6 people can eat. There's no formal dining room in this whole house. This is it. You eat around the kitchen table or the kitchen island and you just hang out with us and we all just kind of like relax. That is the whole point of this house, is just feeling like you're at one with the ocean, and that is a peaceful, calm feeling. And anyway, I got it from this house. I just love this house. So anyway, I needed a place to work, so here's a little makeshift studio office. I didn't want to be closed off. I wanted to be able to look at the views. So here it is open. I tried looking at ways to like separate it if you saw it in the build, but I decided to leave it this way. So anyway, you go from my office through this hallway because you guys know I need a reading nook in every house I build. So this is my reading nook. And of course the jellyfish play into it. I tried to play the colors off of the jellyfish, and I had to put a chair here so I could sit and read the books. But I could also grab a book and take it into my beautiful gold and reddish. I tried to stay, I guess it's a coral color. I tried to stay with like colors that you would find in the ocean with this house. So that was the whole kind of goal with every color scheme throughout the entire build, was trying to find something that you would find underwater in various parts of the world. So anyway, this is my main bedroom. Bubbles again play a big part in it, but so does luxury. I built up this bed. It is a custom bed, and I made it to make me feel like a queen, a mermaid queen or an underwater queen, and I think it did it. I really love these clamshells around the base, and you can see in the speed build kind of how I built that. But if you have any questions, just let me know. And then in here, this was once just a 1-room bathroom, but what I did is I separated it into 3 distinct areas. So when you walk in here, this is my dressing area where I can put on my makeup, do my hair, etc. And then over here is the bathing area. So I've got my toilet, I've got my shower. I used Ravi's idea that you might have seen in her house build to make the shower out of this, because this shower didn't quite fit in this space and I still wanted it there. So we are making it work, and I think it came out really great. Of course, I've got a toilet, double vanity, and then over here, this is kind of like my spa bathtub. Since the whole outside is water, I didn't really do like a hot tub like I would normally do in a build. I just kind of made it in this little room. Feels like I'm underwater with the jellyfish, and definitely a peaceful place to sit back, read a book, and hang out. And then that is pretty much it for the top floor. Then you go downstairs, and of course, I mean, flamingos. The wall was empty. It needed something, so flamingos it is. And I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of pop art, and actually ended up loving it once I did it. So they are here to stay. They bring a bit of color over there, because you'll notice I did a lot of blue in this room and I didn't add a lot of color. So the coral, this hood, those are pretty much all the colors. And this is a nice big seating area so we can entertain, have all our friends here. And I wanted it to be so that you could sit here and watch TV, but also watch outside and see all of the amazing fish out there and other sea life that we might encounter. So I deliberately placed this where I did. Instead of facing this wall, I wanted you to be able to see both things at the same time. Then I wanted a little music area for entertaining, a little fireplace to warm us up on the cool nights, Of course, Skyler needed a place to study, and the bubble chairs had to be included in this build. Like more, I wanted to have bubble chairs everywhere, but I figured my guests might want to sit on a couch or two. So yeah, so anyway, that was my whole thought process with that. And then I built out another bathroom, and that is it. And I forgot to put more lighting in here. So right now it's just got mood lighting, but it has a full shower. And I hid a little decor over here because I wanted to make that shower fit this wall perfectly. And then of course a sink and a toilet. This will mainly be Skyler's bathroom, but also I'm imagining that guests will use it at the same time. And then in here, you guys keep asking me in my comments to make a pet room. So I decided this was the perfect time to make a pet room. I based it kind of on orange coral, and so I went with oranges and then of course grays just to make the orange pop, and a little bit of yellow. And there's something for our furry friends, there's something for our underwater friends, and we've got food for everybody, we've got beds for everybody, and I love this coral on the walls. I just thought it was such a fun look. Again, I love throwing things on the walls that don't belong on the walls, so that's kind of where I was going with that. Oh my gosh, the view out here is just so amazing. We'll talk about that in a minute. So then, last but not least in the house is Skyler's bedroom, and of course it is pretty in pink. I also went with a little purple just to kind of pull out the colors in the jellyfish because I'm kind of obsessed with those jellyfish. So I wanted to use them everywhere, and I tried to color match as best I could. I built up this little decorative wall thing here, and then I also made a platform bed for Skyler. So that is her dresser area as well as something for her to be up on. And of course, had to put some toys in here, and since we don't really have an outdoor area for her to play, I put in the slide, the kitchen, and piano so she gets some of her energy out in the house. And anyway, I think that's one of my favorite bedrooms of hers that I've done. Not gonna lie, I love this bed a lot, and I like the bright color popping instead of staying with just the two tones, not to mention the colors that you find in the jellyfish. So again, you guys, like normal, whenever I post a build, I encourage you to take any ideas you like. If you want to try to replicate the entire build, you have my permission. You do not need to ask. It is something I totally hope you will do because I do these builds to give all of us inspiration. Just like I like looking at everybody else's builds to get inspiration, I hope you'll take some from mine. All right, now we're going to go outside and talk about the backyard. So it's not really a backyard, it is the sea. So I decided not to do anything with it. I literally put out more shells, more coral, more jellyfish, and lots of bubbles. I just wanted to feel like we're underwater. If I had fish that I could put out here to have them swim by, I probably would have. But since I don't, we have to make believe, and the jellyfish are gonna do that for us. So this is my backyard. I don't know. I just wanted to keep it very clean and very true to the underwater theme of this house. And so that is what I chose to do here. Personally, I'm in love with it. I hope you guys aren't too disappointed that I didn't do any decorating out there. It just felt weird to kind of hang out underwater and not be like swimming or whatever. So in nod to doing fun stuff outside, I did put surfboards here. So if somebody wanted to grab a surfboard and go surfing above the ocean, they could do that. So that was my one little nod to it being an actual backyard space. But anyway, you guys, that is it for this build. I hope you enjoyed seeing it as much as I enjoyed doing it for you guys. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Let me know you watched. And of course, if you're new to my channel and you'd like to see more Club Roblox speed builds and other fun Roblox content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, let YouTube know you'd like to be notified when I post something new on the channel. That way you won't miss out on anything coming down the line. And there's lots more, including more Club Roblox speed builds. I'll see you guys again real soon. Until then, bye!